Good evening, everybody. This is Sweat, and I'm bringing you a little bit of ACW-R action on the map of Gulf of Oman, the Rush map Gulf of Oman, which is actually a back to Karkin map if you guys aren't familiar with it. And I get a few questions in the comments of my videos, and I've noticed a lot of commentators' videos, especially guys like In the Works, people asking why aren't we showing the close quarters maps if we're showing the close quarters weapons. Well, we play on PC, and we simply do not have the maps on PC yet. All we have is the ability to unlock the weapons, and so that's what we are bringing you guys, and we apologize for the inconvenience for that. But next week, once we get the new maps, we will definitely have map breakdown type videos, new game types and stuff like that, as well as the other weapons like the M5K and the other sniper rifle, the bolt action sniper rifle. So this video, actually, what I want to talk about is maybe the thought process. And at least my thought process on, did DICE get this just completely backwards? Did they get the weapons backwards? And I'm more referring to the AUG-A3 and the SCAR-L and the ACW-R and the MTAR, and not the other weapons. Well, maybe some of the support weapons. But all right, so the M5K, obviously that's going to be a close quarters weapon. We get that. That's going to be fine. But what I'm concerned with, for starters, the SPOS 12. Why wasn't the SPOS 12 semi-automatic? This is a close quarters map. This is up close in your face. You would think that they would have the option to switch the SPOS 12 from semi-automatic, from pump to semi-automatic. You know, you would think they would have that selector ability. And a lot of people pointed that out, that if they can do the damage in other features in this game, you know, why wouldn't they be able to do the damage from like a selector switch like that? So the SPOS 12 for one. SPOS 12 is one thing. You know, what was DICE thinking with that? The L86, you know, it fires a pretty slow 750 rounds per minute. And I think it's a great weapon, but that's a pretty slow rate of fire in a really small magazine. I mean, the LSAT, what was their kind of thinking behind that? Because it is 20 damage, and from what I understand, it's 20 damage at range. It has almost no drop-off at range. But why would you put a weapon with, again, a slow rate of fire, 650 rounds per minute, and give us a weapon that has no drop-off at range in a close quarters map pack? I don't quite understand the logic behind that. And really, the meat and potatoes of this argument, really what I wanted to try to figure out is why they gave us such slow-firing weapons in the assault kit, and why they gave us such weapons with such high rates of fire in the engineer kit. Now, to me, it would be completely the opposite, because you would want to discourage people from using the engineer kit in maps without vehicles, and maps that, you know, are already going to be smaller player counts. Why would you want us to use and have engineer spam? Why would you want us to have RPG spam or C4 spam or whatever? You know, wouldn't you want to encourage the assault kit, encourage revives and stuff like that? You know, and instead what they did is they gave us weapons in the assault kit that don't really cater too much to close quarters combat. I mean, the AUG-A3, I thought it was a good rifle. The SCAR-L, I think it's one of the best rifles in the game, but not at close quarters. You know, you're not going to win close quarters gun battles against the M16 and the AEK with it. You're just not, because those guys have such a high rate of fire already. Whereas, you know, you may win it with the MTAR, and you may win it with the ACW-R, because they have 850. The MTAR is 900 rounds per minute. The ACW-R is 850 rounds per minute. I mean, those fire incredibly fast, but they are in the engineer kit, and it doesn't make sense to me why they would make that addition to the engineer kit. You know, maybe to balance it out overall with the weapons that they already had, I could maybe understand that. But why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you wait for maybe Armored Kill or something like that, instead of implement it in a close quarters map pack, a close quarters DLC that emphasizes face-to-face and infantry combat? You know, that's where I think DICE got this wrong, and that's kind of what my question to you guys is. Do you agree with me, or am I kind of off base here? And if I am, correct me. I mean, show me where I'm wrong. I just kind of want to understand what they did. But guys, incredible amount of support on my weapons breakdowns, just a sensational amount of support on my weapons breakdowns. Can't thank you guys enough. The last two I did is the last two in the support kit, and the video on the left is the L86A2, which I think is an outstanding addition to the support kit. Really excited about that. And the one on the right I think was a really good video, but the weapon itself was kind of questionable to me. So that's the LSAT, the one on the right. Check it out and see what you guys think of that. If you're new to the channel, just hit that subscribe button right there on the middle of the screen. Really can't wait for the rest of the maps and everything to drop later this week. And you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for every rating and all these shares and favorites and everything on my channel lately and on these videos. Really helped a tremendous amount, guys. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.